Everyone, welcome. We'll just take a moment to get settled, to get started in just a minute. And if you want, it could be helpful to have a yoga block handy today. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a large book, a sturdy box, something similar shape and size. And yoga mat is not needed for this practice today. Everything is going to be done in a chair or standing. But if you have your yoga mat handy and you want to roll it out and use it, feel free. You could also do the seated portions sitting on your yoga mat, perhaps sitting on a cushion or a pillow for comfort, whatever is best for you. So this class is sponsored by the Corktown Health Center, and you can find me on Facebook Live doing these gentle standing and chair yoga practices the first and second Thursday of every month. So to get started, let's just find a comfortable seat. You might uncross your legs, sit tall away from the back of your chair, and just rest your hands wherever is most comfortable. A couple of very simple ideas of what you could do with your hands is if you're feeling kind of tired, low energy, and you want more energy for your afternoon, you could bring your palms face up. And if you're feeling kind of anxious and maybe spacey or overwhelmed, maybe you bring your palms down. So palms down is more grounding, right? Help us feel grounded, calm, connected to the earth. Palms up, inviting more energy in to help energize us. So just figure out what you need, and maybe if you're unsure, one palm up, one palm down. And if you want, you can close your eyes or gaze softly down, gazing away from the screen. And just take a moment to check in. Take a moment to begin to notice how you're feeling today. No right or wrong. Notice how you feel in your physical body, your emotional body, your energetic body. There might be areas of your body that feel a lot of sensation. Maybe they're really tight or in pain, but there also are areas that feel more neutral, that might feel relaxed, or there might be areas where you can't really feel any sensation at all. So all of these experiences are valid, all of them are important, and seeing if you can approach each one with compassion and gentleness. To help encourage some compassion and gentleness, I invite you to place one hand on your belly and one on your chest, and just feel the gentle weight of your hands. So doing something as simple as this, giving ourselves supportive touch, soothing self-touch, just a hand on your heart or giving yourself a hug or a hand on your cheek, can help us calm, can help release oxytocin in the body. And oxytocin is a chemical that's released in the brain. It's sometimes nicknamed the tend and befriend chemical. So it acts kind of the opposite that stress hormones do, like cortisol, and instead helps create a sense of nourishing connection, of feeling comforted, of feeling soothed. So see if you could just feel that under your hands. Give yourself some soothing, calming, connecting energy here. We're going to begin a breathing technique now called Durga Pranayam, 3-part breath. So with your hands on your heart and your belly, begin to lengthen and deepen your breath. If you can, breathe in and out through your nose. And if this is hard at first, maybe start with 3 to 5 breaths of inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth with a sigh. Just to begin to lengthen the breath, and then when you feel ready, closing your mouth on the exhale. And there's no right length for the inhale or exhale, so try not to strain, try not to hold the breath. And see if you can begin to tune into some subtle movements under your hands as you breathe. So as you're inhaling, your hands are rising. As you're exhaling, your hands are falling slightly. So we're going to begin to bring awareness to 3 parts of our inhale and 3 parts of our exhale. So the breath still stays long, but just begin to notice the beginning, the middle, and then the end of your inhale, and the beginning, middle, and end of your exhale. Still one long smooth breath, hands still on the heart and belly. And see if you can begin, as you're inhaling, to feel the bottom hand on your belly rise, then the middle part of your abdomen, your chest, and then your top hand on your upper chest rise at the end of your inhale. And then on your exhale, let your top hand fall, then the middle part of your chest, and then finally your belly draws in. So inhaling, belly, middle, chest, exhaling, chest, middle, belly. So imagine that air is going into a balloon, or another analogy is you're pouring water from a pitcher into a glass. So first it goes into the bottom of the glass, then the middle part, then fills it all the way up. That's like your inhale. And then if you were pouring the water out of the glass back into the pitcher, first it comes out at the top, then the middle, then the bottom. So take a few breaths on your own, trying to connect to the 3 parts of your inhale and 3 parts of your exhale. Trying your best to connect the movements to the patterns I mentioned, but if that's difficult or isn't working, doing what's best for you right now. This is a new pattern or way of breathing. It takes practice. In one area of your body, you might be able to feel more movement than the other. Take one more breath, visualizing the air moving into the bottom of your lungs, the middle part of your lungs, filling the lungs completely, and then exhaling the air out the top of the lungs, the middle part of the lungs, and the bottom of the lungs. And you can think about pulling your navel in at the bottom to help push all the air in and up out of the lungs. And when you're ready, we'll just gently bring both hands now over the heart, taking another moment with some soothing self-touch, and set an intention for your practice. To help get you started, I offer this mantra: with great respect and love, I honor my heart, my inner teacher. With great respect and love, I honor my heart, my inner teacher. Checking in with what your inner teacher needs. What does your heart need today? And when you're ready, bring your hands down. If your eyes are closed, slowly blinking them open. Just tuning in to how you feel. So we'll continue to work with that idea of giving ourselves gentle and compassionate touch. That can be really soothing, especially if we're feeling really distraught and stressed. So I invite you to bring the pads of your first two fingers to your jaw, the back, and then just make some circles at that hinge point. And then switch the direction, and you determine how much pressure you need here. Could be very gentle, could be a little more firm. And then move up to your temples, slide your fingers up to your temples, a few circles in one direction, and then the other. And then release your hands. We're going to bring the pads of our thumbs, so not the tips, but the pads of our thumbs between our eyebrows. Gently press in and pull up. Begin to slide your thumbs all the way up to your hairline, and then spread them apart. Come across and down to your temples, and with the pads of your thumbs, do gentle circles here. Try to relax in your shoulders, your neck, and your jaw. Soften your face. And switch the direction. And then move down to your jaw. Circles in one direction. You determine how much pressure you need. And then the other direction. And releasing the hands down when you're ready. And if you need to take more time with this, feel free. Perhaps closing your eyes just for a moment here, gazing down, and just think about softening in the face. Gently releasing. And now we're going to make some gentle circles with our neck, being very gentle and just small movements. So we're going to imagine that we're using our nose to draw a circle in the air in front of us. So let's start, just pick one direction. Inhale, going up, over, and across. Exhale, going down, over, and across. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. Again, just a small circle in the air in front of you. Imagine you're drawing that circle with your nose. So moving very gently and with control. And then do one more. And then slowly come up to center and switch directions. exhaling down and inhaling up, linking your breath to your movement. Doing about one more on this side. And when you feel ready, coming back to center. Let's move our head gently from side to side. So inhaling, growing tall, long neck. Exhale, gaze over one shoulder. Try to keep your chin level, so try not to drop your chin. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale through center. Exhale to the side. Keep moving now on your own a couple more times. And just turning your head as much as you need to. One side might have more range of motion. You know, if you experience any tightness or tension, can you send your breath to that area? Remember not to push past that point, maybe back off a little if it gets too intense. And now finish up on both sides. When you're ready, come back to center. Just do one more movement with the neck. We'll do a lateral side stretch. So we'll inhale at center, exhale, bring one ear down towards your shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed down your back. Inhale, come up with the head, exhale to the other side. And just do this gently from side to side with your breath. If it doesn't feel good to do this dynamic movement flowing with your breath and you'd rather just hold for a few breaths on one side and then switch over, feel free to do that. So take a couple more breaths wherever you are. Notice where you feel it in your neck, in your face. Can you begin to soften? And then come back to center slowly and gently when you're ready. So now we're going to begin to make some circles with the spine. We're going to inhale and bring our chest forward, pick one direction, exhale around and back. Just like we were doing with our nose, tracing circles in the air, now we're imagining our whole torso is tracing circles maybe on the ground or up in the air, like a wand or a pencil or a big wooden spoon in a mixing bowl. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And you could make these circles big if you wanted and really like bring your shoulders into them. Or they could stay small. Up to you. One more in this direction. And when you're ready, begin to switch the direction. Inhaling forward, chest comes forward. Exhale, round back. You might drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, chest forward, throat opens. Exhale, round back. Breathing into your spine, breathing into your hips and your shoulders. It might feel good to even close the eyes here and tune inward to really connect with what you are feeling in your body. A couple more this direction. And come back to center. Just noticing now how your spine feels. It's a great one if your spine is feeling a little stiff, maybe first thing in the morning or any point in your day if you need to wake up the low back. We're going to bring our awareness and our attention to our shoulders now. So we're going to inhale our arms up, palms facing forward, trying to keep the shoulders from really coming up high by the ears. Can you soften them a little bit? But knowing that with this movement of arms up, they are going to lift. And with your next exhale, bring your arms like cactus arms or goalposts, bending at the elbows, palms facing forward. And then inhale and press your hands away like there's imaginary walls on either side of you. Shoulder blades are coming down your back. Chest is opening across your collarbones. Next, exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a moment here to repeat your intention. So now we're going to do that sequence flowing with the breath. So with your inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus arms. Inhale, straighten the arms, press away, flex at the wrists. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Repeat your intention to yourself. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, press away. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here for a couple of breaths, turning inward. Release your hands down. Lift them up once again with your next inhale. Interlace your fingers this time. Press your palms up towards the sky. Inhale here. With your exhale, slightly come over to one side. Just a little lateral stretch here. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale to the other side. And it's okay if your elbows bend a little here. It's difficult to straighten your arms. Inhale through center. Release the bind of the hands. And then exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands to your knees. Begin to bring your chest down to your knees. And maybe you stay here. I'll just show you from the side. So you could stay kind of halfway down and even lifting yourself up a little bit away from your legs. This could be important, especially if you have any low back injuries that you're taking care of. If this feels okay on your back and you want to fold more, begin to bring your chest down and let your hands slide down to your feet or maybe your yoga block, and let your head release down. So just take a few breaths, either in the half lift or folding all the way down. So forward folds can be very calming and grounding. So if you're feeling a lot of anxiety today and maybe rumination or busy thoughts, this can help begin to settle and quiet the mind. So one more breath here. Next, inhale, slowly come up to hands on the knees if you're not already there. And then take a breath, come up about halfway. Notice your core engaging here. And next, inhale, lift up with a long spine. Good. So now we're going to come up to standing. Moving your chair aside at first. We're going to use it in a moment. And take a moment just to shake everything out. So if you're feeling kind of low energy and you need to bring some energy in, just doing any kind of fun shaking motion. Or even if you're feeling really stressed and you feel like antsy and you need to get that energy out, just some shaking can be helpful. You can lift one leg, shake the ankles, do some hip circles, have fun with it, right? Maybe some big sighs out feel good. Some arms coming up, maybe. Exhale the hands down by your sides, sighing it out. Doing that a couple times. Letting go of any stress from your day. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. And just taking a moment to find your mountain pose here. Come back to that deep, even breath in and out. And so now we're going to work with some poses to strengthen the legs. And if it's not comfortable to do standing, you can do the arm part seated. So we're going to come into chair pose. And I know we were just sitting, but chair pose is great for strengthening the legs. So you're going to bend your knees, sink your hips back, arms are going to come forward and up alongside your ears. And you could really sink down low, or you could stay more upright. You could also, if you have a wall nearby, sit back against the wall. Or again, you can sit in your chair, but maybe sitting away from the back of the chair to really activate the pose and press down through your feet. So one more breath wherever you are in your chair, feeling that strong grounded energy. And when you're ready, inhale and come up, stand up, reach up and take a slight back bend, perhaps if that's okay on your back. Lifting your chest, lifting your gaze. And then exhale your hands down to heart center. So from here, we're going to come into a flowing sequence with chair pose. Hands come down now. And in chair, your feet can either be together and your knees together, or your feet and knees can be hip distance apart, up to you. So I'll show you from the side. We're going to inhale to chair. We're going to exhale and sweep our arms back. So you can do this seated in a chair as well. Still bending the knees. Inhale, lift the arms back up. Exhale, sink your hips a little lower if that feels okay. Inhale, straighten your legs, strong legs, press up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So let's do that again. Inhale, bend your knees, come into chair. Exhale, arms sweep back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink down, strong legs. Inhale, stand up. Lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So now I want to show an optional balance element to add to this if you would like. So we're going to inhale into chair and come up onto our toes. Try to press down evenly through all of the toes. And then exhale, heels come down as you fold, still bending your knees, arms sweep back. Inhale, back, arms up and back onto the toes. Still on the toes, can you exhale and sink a little deeper? And then inhale, can you stay up on the toes as you straighten your legs? Exhale, heels down, hands down. Feeling your legs really fire up here. So we're going to do that one more time and just paying attention to the weight in your feet. Sometimes we tend to roll inward towards our big toe, or we might roll outward towards our pinky toe. Can you try to keep that weight even? And if you're feeling too wobbly, can you come down a little? You don't have to lift up so high. And know that it's okay if you wobble, if you fall out of it. Still trying to move gently and compassionately so you don't hurt yourself if you fall. And keep that deep, even breath. That'll really help with balance. So inhale to chair. Lift your heels. Exhale, heels down, fold, knees bent, arms back. Inhale to chair, up on your toes, even through the feet. Exhale, sink deeper, still on the toes. Inhale, stand up, still on the toes if you can, reaching up. And exhale, hands down, feet down. Great job, everyone. Shaking up the legs here for a moment. We'll come back to the legs again, but let's work with some back bending and folding in a little more. So chair pose has some folding in the hip flexors, some flexion in the psoas, and that happens when we sit in a chair too. So let's open that up. So find the back of your chair or the back of the table, side of the table, and bring your hands to that and begin to walk away and press your hips forward, engage your legs, engage your glutes, lift up through your spine, engage your core. Begin to lift the chest, keep the neck long. Maybe begin to open the throat, chin up, gazing up. Breathing here in the standing camel pose, hips might press forward. Only go as far as you need to make sure you can still maintain your deep, even breath. And when you're ready, slowly come out of it. So back bends can be really energizing in yoga. They're a way to help us get out of that kind of tired, lethargic, low mood state, is doing some different back bends, like the standing camel, cobra pose, if you know that, cow pose in terms of cat, cow, anything where we're lifting and opening our chest. So let's try one more from a wide stance. We're going to bring our hands behind us and interlace our fingers, knuckles reaching down. And we're going to broaden and open across our chest. And just take a few breaths here. Strong through the legs, press down evenly through your feet. Long, tall spine, knuckles reach down. Opening across your collarbones, lengthening the top of your head up. Deep breathing. Maybe even beginning to lift up a little with the chest and the gaze. And then releasing the bind, coming back to standing in mountain. And from here, I want to show a couple options for a downward facing dog. So this is more of a folding action and can be more calming, grounding. So I'll show it on the wall and then using a chair. So I'm starting up about shoulder height or so, and then I'm going to walk away. My feet are at least hip distance apart, facing the wall, or even wider. Pressing my hips back, lengthening my spine. And your knees can bend a little bit here. And if you tend to be hyper flexible in your low back like this, where I'm sticking my booty out, can you try to draw your navel in a little bit, lengthen your spine, pull your hips back. And if you find the opposite is happening, if you're really rounding like this, can you think about bending your knees more so that your spine can lengthen? Take a couple breaths here, breathing into the backs of your legs, breathing into your spine. And then slowly lift up. And then you could also use a chair. My chair is a little low, it depends on the height. Like a dining room chair that has a higher back could be good for this. And you walk away from the chair. And again, same thing, I'm pushing my hips back, lengthening my spine. But in this one, because of where my chair height is lower, I'm more in a half forward fold. So it just kind of depends on the height of the back of your chair. The down dog would be more at an angle. And if you have your yoga mat out, and no, I love down dog on your mat, you could do that as well. On your mat, it's more like a triangle shape with the body. So if you're in down dog, again, coming up, and then I just want to show a half forward fold, another option with your chair. This time turning your chair around so the seat of the chair is facing you. And grab your yoga block or a large book or something firm about this size. So what I'm going to do is place my hands on the chair. My feet are about hip distance apart. I'm going to walk away from the chair. And then I'm going to begin to fold forward. Now, you might have to adjust the height of your block or your prop. And I'm going to bring my forehead to the block. So if that is too low for you, your arms could fold and rest over the top. Maybe you have multiple props that you could stack up, but make sure they're not too wobbly or too squishy. If you can fold down lower and want to fold your arms and bring your head, for example, down to the seat of the chair, you could do that. So take a few breaths wherever you are. Your legs are either straight or working in that direction. So if you have tight hamstrings, maybe there's a little bend in your knee. If you have a tendency to hyperextend or lock like this, bring a micro bend, a little softness to the knee. So having a support under your head can be very grounding and calming. This is also a great one for headaches, just like the jaw massage and temple massage we did earlier. Think about lengthening your spine, lengthening your neck. Take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly come up. While we're here, we're going to do a little more work, more activating work. So you want to make sure you're not using an office chair or some kind of chair with wheels. You want some stability to your chair so it's not going to slide. So like I have my chair up against the shelf. We're going to work into plank pose with our chair. So I'm bringing my hands on either side of my chair and I'm beginning to walk my legs away. And I'm bringing my body like a plank of wood. So if this isn't going to work for you today, if you're feeling like this is too intense, I'll show you in a minute how to do it on a wall. You can just observe this. Take a few breaths here, feeling your core engage. Reach back through your heels. Reach long through the top of your head. One more breath. And begin to bend at your hips and then walk forward. So you can also do this at a wall. So your hands can come about shoulder height and then just walk a little bit away and just press into the wall. Feel that muscle activation. So this can be good if you have shoulder or wrist injuries or if you want to build up strength. And then from here, and I'll show this version on the chair again in a moment, we're going to do a few fun little options. Again, just being playful, not pushing ourselves too hard. We might do a little bit of what's called chaturanga, a yoga push-up. So exhale, bending the elbows in, coming down or towards the wall a little bit. So elbows stay in, and try not to let your head lead. We don't want our head to flop in, but a long neck aligned with our spine. So you could do this a few times at the wall, or you could come to your chair and do this a few times here. You know, depending on the stability of your chair, the back of your chair, just bending your elbows back. And do this as many times as feels good for your body. Remembering to breathe. And when you're ready, coming up. Good. So let's do some shoulder rolls here. Thanking our shoulders for everything they've been doing for us. Inhaling up, exhaling down our back. And we're going to come down to our chair now and do some more poses with the legs. So we're going to start with a crescent lunge or crescent warrior. So bringing one leg, we're going to sit sideways on our chair. You need a chair without arms for this. One knee is bent, one hip and glute buttock is on the chair. Your other buttock and hip is falling off, and then you're going to bring that leg back. So your toes are tucked under. If you can, you're straightening your back leg. Your front knee is bent. Nice long spine here. Your hands could be on your hips. You could hold on to your chair. You could also lift your arms up. And if you wanted to try this without the chair, you could do this as more of a balance pose without the chair. If you have a mat or some support under your knee, you could bring your back knee down to the ground and also try it. When you're ready, we're going to slowly transition to a chair warrior 2, opening our arms out to the sides. Our same leg stays bent, but then our back leg, we're going to try to turn the toes to face forward and the leg to straighten. Now, depending on your chair, if you have a really wide chair, again, you need a chair with no arms, this might not always work. So you can kind of try to scoot towards the front of your chair more. If your back knee is bending a little bit, That's okay, trying your best. Arms are out and up, gaze is forward. Now, you could also do this without the chair if you wanted to try it, pressing down through both feet. So very strong and stable pose. But if you're taking care of your hips, your knees, or anything, and you want a little more support, you can come to seated. One more breath. And then relax, release. Come forward in your chair and kind of shake out your legs for a moment. Let's switch to the other side. Again, the front foot is planted down, toes are facing the side, knees bent. Back leg comes back, toes tucked under. And then we're sitting up nice and tall. And we're lifting our chest. You could optionally lift the arms. And again, you could also do this in the air, finding your balance here. You could hold onto the wall or a chair, or have your back knee down. Lots of options for the crescent lunge. And then from here, opening your arms out to the side, moving to warrior two. So now your back foot comes down, your toes point forward, your front toes are still pointing to the side, knees still bending, arms out, gazing forward. Check in with your shoulders. If they're hunching out by your ears, can you bring your shoulders down on your back, lengthen your neck. Breathing gently, breathing into your hips and your back and your strong legs. And then when you're ready, coming back to center. So from here, we're just going to wrap up with a few more seated postures. And so if you're feeling like you're still needing some more energy, we're going to do an energizing breath now. But if you're feeling already like you have too much anxiety, too much energy, you don't want any more, you could just observe this breath. So it would be contraindicated, meaning not recommended for high anxiety. If you often get panic attacks, if you're feeling manic, this would be not recommended. However, it can generally be very helpful if you're feeling low energy. Maybe you want to like blow off some steam, release some stress, lift your mood if you're feeling kind of blue or down. So it's called Bhastrika Pranayam, bellows breath. And you can watch me first. It involves inhaling the arms up, palms up, and then exhaling, making loose fists as you bring your elbows in on the sides of your rib cage, and you're kind of just gently pressing in. And so that will help you kind of push all the air out of your lungs as you exhale. So an inhale, again, palms up, and then exhale, gentle fist, elbows in by your sides. And the breath is faster than what we've been doing, a little bit more of a sniffing sound to the breath. So I'll demonstrate everything together. So if you want to try it with me, sit tall, make sure there's nothing around you. Again, if you have arms on your chair, you could scoot to the front of your chair or maybe come to standing just so you're not going to hit them with your elbows. And when you're ready, inhale up, exhale. Couple more. And then letting your hands release down. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment, just checking in with how you're feeling. Notice your energy level. Feel rooted and grounded down through your feet. So if you feel like that brought up too much energy, bring your palms down and really focus on rooting down through the soles of your feet. but it's totally normal that this breath can bring more energy up. You might feel more tingly, more awake in the chest and in the head. Again, that's called bellows breathing, and the idea is it's like a bellows, and we're stoking the fire, right? We're stoking our prana, our energy, our life force. So from here, let's work a little bit more with the legs. We're going to reach our right leg out, and you could do this, show you from the side, either with the leg really active and engaged, or you could keep the knee bent a little, whatever's best for you. You could hold on to the sides of your chair or hands to your hips. Begin to just do some circles in one direction, and then the other. And then we're going to point with the inhale and flex with our exhale. Point your foot, exhale, flex, reach through your heel. Continue with your breath. If you can, sit up nice and tall as you do this. And then we're going to bend our knee and lift our foot. Just do some gentle circles moving outward with our knee, beginning to wake up our hips a little more. We're going to come into seated pigeon. So we're going to take our ankle and either place it over the opposite ankle, crossing at the ankles, or maybe a little higher at the shin, or lift the foot up onto the thigh. But don't force it. So if this is too much in your hips or your knee, come lower, right? Find that right level for you. So I'm going to stay low on this side because of an injury. And just think about gently breathing here, breathing into your hip, sending breath to tightness. Imagine it dissolving with your exhales. If you feel like you want more sensation, you could begin to fold forward. It's just an option, so just find what feels right for you. Take a few more breaths here. Come back to your intention. When you're ready, if you're folding forward, slowly lift up. Gently uncross your legs, shake it out for a moment in any way that feels good. And we'll move to the other side. So starting again with lifting the leg, and you can determine how active you want the leg. If you really want to engage the quad and reach through the heel and do some gentle circles with your ankle here, you could do that, or the knee could be more met and the foot down. And switch direction. And then we'll point and flex. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. Trying if you can to sit up nice and tall, especially to get some core work if you want that. But if that feels too intense, you can lean back against the back of your chair. And then bend your knee and do some circles moving gently outward. And then when you're ready, we're going to cross the ankle either over the other ankle, the shin, or maybe up to the thigh. You can gently press the knee away from you, but not forcing. You can also think about flexing the foot on the lifted leg. You might point it, you might have it neutral, just kind of adjust and see how that feels. And then maybe fold forward, again, seeing how this feels. Breathing deep here. Sending your breath to your hip. Our hips are often very tight and hold a lot of tension, so it's nice to spend a little time with them. When you're ready, slowly coming up, movements that feel good on the side. And then staying tall. Taking a moment to check in with your body and see what you need. So as we wrap up, do you need a twist, a side stretch, maybe another back bend? Take a few minutes just to explore on your own, doing any movements that feel good. You might think about balancing actions. So if you do one side, doing the other. If you do a back bend, doing a forward bend. But know that like you might want to hold longer on one side or hold longer in your forward fold if you're feeling anxious, or hold longer in your back bend if you're feeling tired, right? So take maybe 5 more breaths or so to explore with whatever you're doing, whatever you want, however you want to move. It doesn't have to be a yoga pose. It could just be any stretch movement that feels good. And we'll find ourselves sitting tall again. And we're going to work with a brief muscle relaxation technique now. So we're going to begin progressive muscle relaxation. And we'll start with the top of the head and move our way down to the feet. This technique involves contracting and then releasing different muscle groups in the body. So we're going to start with our head. So we're going to inhale and squeeze all the muscles in our face and our head. So clench your jaw, squish your eyes, kind of tense everything, and exhale, release. And sigh it out through the mouth. We'll do that 2 more times just with the head. Inhale, exhale. And if you can't hold your breath as long as I'm saying, do it for a shorter amount of time. That's fine. Inhale, hold and clench, draw in, contract. Exhale, release. So now we're going to move to our shoulders. We're going to draw them up by our ears on the inhale. Exhale, let them fall and release. Inhale, shoulders up, draw in. Exhale, release. Inhale, up, hold, exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, up, exhale, release. So now we're going to do the arms and the hands. So we're going to bend and like really engage our arms and make fists. So this will be our inhale, and then our exhale will let them release. And just be careful that you won't hit anything as you let your arms come down. So inhale and tense the arms, hold, exhale, release. Release the hands, release the fingers. Inhale, tense, make fists, and exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, tense, draw in, contract, hold. Exhale, release. And you might notice as we're doing this that other parts of the body tend to contract as well. Just doing your best to isolate just the muscle groups I'm mentioning, but it's okay if you notice your shoulders are tightening or your jaw. And know that that might be a pattern that happens as we move through different areas of our lives. Like if we're doing something, right, like with that hip opener earlier, and we're really working on the hips, but we might also be clenching our jaw. So it's just a great way to bring awareness of our different patterns of holding and tension and see if we can begin to soften and release those. So now we're going to work with our core. So on our inhale, we'll contract and draw in our abdominal muscles as best we can. With our exhale, we'll release. We'll kind of let our belly go out and we'll release. So inhale and draw in. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, tense, draw in, contract, hold. Exhale, release. And you might notice as we're doing this that other parts of the body tend to contract as well. Just doing your best to isolate just the muscle groups I'm mentioning, but it's okay if you notice your shoulders are tightening or your jaw. And know that that might be a pattern that happens as we move through different areas of our lives. Like if we're doing something, right, like with that hip opener earlier, and we're really working on the hips, but we might also be clenching our jaw. So it's just a great way to bring awareness of our different patterns of holding and tension and see if we can begin to soften and release those. So now we're going to work with our core. So on our inhale, we'll contract and draw in our abdominal muscles as best we can. With our exhale, we'll release. We'll kind of let our belly go out and we'll release. So inhale and draw in. Exhale, release. Again, inhale. Draw the belly in. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale. Contract your core muscles. Draw in. Exhale, release. So now we're going to work with the pelvic region. Thinking about Kegel exercises, or if you have to pee and you have to hold it, that kind of muscle contraction of the pelvic floor. So inhale and draw in and up. Exhale, release. So it's more subtle, you can't really see much here. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, contract the muscles of the pelvic floor, lift in and up. And exhale, release. So now we're going to work with the legs. And you could do this with the legs down and really just thinking about activating and contracting the muscles of the legs. But if it's helpful to lift the legs up and really engage them that way, feet flexed and really active, because we'll work the feet as well, you could do that. So either you could do it with legs still down and just thinking about really activating the muscles of the legs. But if that's hard to feel and you want to lift them up and do it, you could do that as well. So inhale and engage the legs. Exhale, release. Again, inhale, engage, flex the feet, reach through your heels, strong legs, tight and contracted, and exhale, sigh it out. One more time, inhale, contract all the muscles of your legs, draw in, squeeze, exhale, release. And now we're going to do it 3 times for the whole body. Inhaling, drawing in, squeezing, everything engaging. Exhale, release. Soften. Again, inhale, contract all the muscles, draw in, flex your feet, make fists, squish your face. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale, draw everything in, squeeze, squeeze, contract. Exhale, let go. And take the next few breaths just to soften, just to release any last tension in the body. If you would like, you might end with either hands placed over your heart again, or hands at heart center. Your eyes could be closed or softly gazing down. Just take a moment to repeat your intention. Think about releasing your intention out into the rest of your day. The light within me bows to and honors that same light within you. Namaste.